going to be a lot of anti-China sentiment in this country, and it's probably going to empower populists who want to limit trade.
Hello there, and welcome to the Golf Club. Looking forward to taking in a bit of golf here. Let's have a good time.
That has to do with national security, and we want to produce it and manufacture it here. That would probably be something most people could get on board. But I think limiting trade. I don't know what trade has to do with this, really, right? I don't understand. My getting a phone or a TV from China has to do with any of this, but it seems like there's a lot of, anti-China sentiment out there right now.
I think what people will say is, with this kind of propensity for a virus like this, and this is not the first one to come out of China, and the way it then affects the flow of goods and services, even antibiotics that we rely on them for, maybe it's not a good idea to have so many eggs in that basket.
I understand. It just seems to me like that, the things that we buy that don't really matter that much in our everyday lives, cheap goods that we can, it's just not that important. How can I say this? I just don't think that it's that important looking down the line, or that we can plan something like that or know when it's going to happen. Diseases come from other places as well. Africa, swine flu came from Mexico. I mean, it's not like we know where it's going to come from every time, or that we can shut down all trade simply because it's going to, the world is going to suffer each time you have something like this. I'm not sure that's going to really help us that much to limit trade.
Certainly,
the cost benefit of it.
Certainly a conversation that will be had, and it is a bit of a wake-up call in many ways. At the least of which, I think everyone's going to keep washing their hands a lot more than they used to.
Absolutely.
David Harsanyi, always good to talk to you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You too. Speak to you soon.
Again, David Harsanyi, he is a senior writer for National Review. His book is First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun. I want to spin off of this topic a little bit. It's related, but it also has to do with this insane hyper-focus on what to call the virus, and to suggest that in some way you're preying on racist sensibilities by accurately calling the virus what it is.
Starting your round
a Chinese virus, a virus that came from China. And the moronic
to send this ball
leap
on its way
that reporters are taking with this by suggesting that by calling it a Wuhan virus or a Chinese virus, you are in some way implicating anyone of Asian origin for creating the virus. Or that in some way, if you are of Asian descent or specifically Chinese descent, you are in some way a carrier of the virus. Who's the moron who thinks that? The only idiots that I have heard making that leap and connecting those ridiculous, evil, racist dots are journalists who are then implying it or inferring it, to be more accurate, inferring it onto the president's intentions. Here's an exchange earlier today in the White House. By the way, this is during the daily briefing where the president now almost daily joins his anti-coronavirus Avengers there to meet the press and answer questions and give full transparency and full information, probably a little too much information, I'll be honest with you. My 401k could take a break from the daily briefing right now, where he answers all of these questions, and here you're a reporter. You're a reporter, and your job is to make sure that your viewers or your readers or your listeners get all of the important, vital information that they need to make it through the day with regard to this unprecedented situation that we find ourselves in. And you as a reporter decide that this is the most important thing you're going to tackle.
China and others have criticized you for using the phrase Chinese virus. How do you feel about that? Are you going to continue using that phrase?
Well, China was putting out information which was false, that our military gave this to them. That was false. And rather than having an argument, I said I have to call it where it came from. It did come from China. So I think it's a very accurate term. But no, I didn't appreciate the fact that China was saying that our military gave it to them. Our military did not give it to anybody.
Critics say using that phrase creates a stigma.
No, I don't think so. No, I think saying that our military gave it to them creates a stigma.
Thank you. And that's President Trump. That is President Trump. Oh, really? Calling the virus that started in China and was allowed to perpetuate and spread and metastasize and get worse and get deadly without any sort of cooperation or transparency from the Chinese Communist government with the rest of the world so that maybe we could put a stop to this thing before it became a worldwide pandemic, calling that what it actually is, which is a Chinese virus, that creates a stigma. Hey, how about their lies saying that the U.S. military brought it to China? That's kind of stigmatizing to the great men and women who wear the military uniform of the United States of America. How about we protect them a little bit? That's your president protecting the military and their good name and our good name instead of worrying about literally propaganda from the communist government. Because that's the key. That exchange, that suggestion that this is racist or stigmatizing or in some way a deflection of who's really to blame for the coronavirus spread, because who's really to blame, of course, is Donald Trump and the American government. That message is literally exactly what the authoritarian propagandists in Beijing are spreading right now.
Out there.
And liberal media in this country, they're parroting state-run communist propaganda. And we're calling them on it right here because this is too serious to play these stupid games. And we'll get more into that in a moment. Right now, let's check in with Ed Rodriguez. He's in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
I don't know, it was all fun and games during the Russian flu until those Cossacks knocked on the door in Bethesda. My mom chased them off with a broom. She's 14 Puerto Rican. They're not going to fight that.
No, you don't want to mess with that.
In Fairfax, westbound 66 jams up from 50 to a crash that now blocks the 3 right lanes of the Fairfax County Parkway. They're trying to get it over to the shoulder now. In Drainsville, eastbound on Route 7, we've got road work taking you down to 1 lane near Georgetown Pike. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL ABC 7 Stormwatch forecast.
Clouds will increase moving into the afternoon hours. Temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Areas of rain overnight. Temperatures falling into the 50s. Tomorrow mostly cloudy. 75 to 80 degrees. Near 80 on Friday with scattered showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder. Cooler for the upcoming weekend. Upper 40s and lower 50s. I'm ABC 7 meteorologist Steve Rudin in the Stormwatch 7 Weather Center.
Right now it's 57 degrees. Traffic and weather brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
Stop by your area Jiffy Lube and experience the value of their signature service oil change. Get your tires rotated and even replace wipers and lights. Plus, at participating locations, they even service brakes without an appointment. JiffyLubeDC.com.
So now I've got this pack of 4 Shar-Pei rescue dogs for, oh my goodness, probably 5-6 years. They get a regular diet of Dinovite with every meal.
DINOVITE.com.
People remark on what beautiful coats they've got. I tell them, you don't need to wait until a problem presents itself. It's far better to keep the dog happy and healthy at all times.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
This is a commercial announcement. The coronavirus. The CDC says it's a real danger for senior citizens. You need all the facts on this killer bug. Now, Newsmax TV, America's fastest-growing cable news channel, brings you those facts. Each night, watch the Chris Salcedo Show, Sean Spicer's Spicer & Company, and Greg Kelly Reports, and get the real truth. Find Newsmax TV on Xfinity, DirecTV, Dish, Spectrum, Optimum, Cox, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, Armstrong, and more. Newsmax TV is real news for real people.
This is the story of Julie Guillot. She's a Leukemia and Lymphoma Society advocate and the mother of a child who battled blood cancer.
Zach was diagnosed with AML, a deadly leukemia, when he was only 5. He died at just 9 years old, really from the treatment that was meant to save him.
Today, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is pioneering breakthrough treatments for kids with cancer. Visit LLS.org and save a child's life. Furnished by LLS.
Whether you're planning to buy a home or you're already a homeowner looking for a cash-out refinance, it's important to work with trusted experts. This is Chris Plant, and I recommend you put your trust in my friend Mark Livingstone and the mortgage experts at Cornerstone First Financial. Mark and the Cornerstone team have been advising WMAL listeners for years. They're committed to providing personalized service and the best pricing and products available. Rising home values have brought trillions in tappable home equity, and this rise in appreciation is allowing homeowners to use their house as a virtual ATM. So if you're considering home improvements, eliminating PMI, or looking for a pre-approval for your next home purchase, Then take my advice and call my friend Mark Livingstone with Cornerstone First Financial. Call 202-625-1221 today. That's 202-625-1221 or online at cornerstonefirst.com.
I always wanted to be a fiction writer. Now my creative fiction writing outlet is online dating profiles. Check this one. Mid-30s, 6'2", 185 pounds. I'm a doctor radiologist.
Most online dating profiles are works of fiction. At It's Just Lunch, we are all about fun, real-life dates set up by real dating experts. Save the fiction for your nightstand and call It's Just Lunch today. Visit itsjustllunchdc.com or call 202-466-6699.
Maybe it's been a while since your last visit to the dentist, and maybe you're stuck working from home and teleworking, and maybe you got extra time on your hands right now. This is a good time to improve yourself and get the things that you've been putting off, and that could very well be that dental work you need done, even if it's just a cleaning that you've been putting off and a checkup. I put that off all the time because I hate going to the dentist, but until I met Dr. Rob and Dr. Deb. See, it's all my past now. Now I go to Bethesda Sedation Dentistry, and I want you to do the same thing, too. Their approach with me, as it will be with you, is compassionate, non-judgmental. You're not going to get that lecture while you're trapped in the chair with all those frightening, sharp instruments just an inch away from your gums. They really walk you through your entire visit, every step of the way. It's life-changing. Trust me, if you've got dental fear, if you have a nagging tooth pain, if you're interested in sedation dentistry, or just looking for a great dentist and you need one, call Rocky. She's going to pick up the phone and she'll say, "I'm Rocky. Can I help you?" She's at Bethesda Sedation Dentistry, 301-530-2434. 301-530-2434, or visit BethesdaSedationDentistry.com.
Live and local. You're listening to The Larry O'Connor Show.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. Comes from China. I want to be accurate. Yeah, please, John. Please. I have great love for all of the people from our country, but as you know, China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen. Not as long as I'm president. It comes from China.
Thank you, Mr. President, for pushing back. I will pick up that baton in a moment and talk about how the media is literally carrying the water for Chinese communist propagandists. You need to hear this. We'll get to it next on WMAL.
I'm Rick Edelman, host of The Rick Edelman Show right here every weekend. When we talk about your investments and your personal finances, you're probably thinking what it all means for you. Well, what if something happens to you? Where does that leave your spouse? You might be pretty good at managing money, and maybe you've earned good investment returns. Maybe you enjoy tracking the markets. Quite possibly, you don't need to hire a financial advisor. But what happens if you become incapacitated, disabled, suffer diminished capacity, or die? Where does that leave your spouse? That's why you need a financial advisor. Not for your sake, but for your spouse's sake. So please, if you're the one managing the money in your household, come in, both of you, and meet with us. Managing the family finances is a family affair, and it's important that you manage things in a way that works for both of you. Hey, it might even improve your relationship. So call us at Edelman Financial Engines. Come see the services we can provide the two of you, not only now, but in the future when you're not there to help. 888-PLAN-RICK. That's 888-PLAN-RICK. Or visit us online at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington. Now, more than ever, depend on 105.9 FM, WMAL, a Cumulus station. News now.
WMAL News at 3:30. I'm Maria Leaf. Many have been spending spring break the way it's usually spent. President Trump is asking those on the beach to consider the coronavirus and make other plans.
They were feeling totally invincible, or are feeling that way, but they don't realize that they can be carrying lots of bad things home to grandmother and grandfather and even their parents. So we want them to heed the advice.
The Treasury Department wants to start issuing direct payments to Americans by early next month as a centerpiece of a $1 trillion plan to stabilize the economy amid the coronavirus epidemic. The Treasury calling for two $250 billion cash infusions to individuals. A first set of checks being issued starting April 6th with a second wave in May. The amounts would depend on income and family size. WMAL Sports brought to you by Bob Evans. Regional Olympic officials rallying around the IOC, and they have backed its stance on opening the Tokyo Games as scheduled. The support comes a day after direct criticism from athletes amid the coronavirus outbreak. Right now, the Olympic Games are scheduled to take place July 24th through August 9th.
Make mealtime easy and delicious with Bob Evans side dishes, like mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. They're made with real milk, butter, cheese, and potatoes, and are ready in the microwave in 6 minutes. Try Bob Evans sides from your grocery store. It'll be love at first bite.
WMAL traffic and weather. Here's Ed Rodriguez in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Well, it's not having too bad of an impact, but you're going to slow down in Silver Spring on the inner loop of the Beltway as Moco Fire's responding to a brush fire right after Connecticut Avenue, like between Connecticut and Georgia. In Fairfax, westbound 66 is still very slow from Route 50 to that crash, blocking the 3 right lanes at the Fairfax County Parkway. And in Woodbridge, southbound 95 slows from Route 1 to the Occoquan. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL ABC 7 Storm Watch forecast.
Clouds will increase moving into the afternoon hours. Temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Areas of rain overnight. Temperatures falling into the 50s. Tomorrow mostly cloudy. 75 to 80 degrees. Near 80 on Friday with scattered showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder. Cooler for the upcoming weekend. Upper 40s and lower 50s.
You're on the green.
I'm ABC 7 meteorologist Steve Rubin in the Stormwatch 7 Weather Center.
It's 55 in La Plata, 57 at Reagan National. Here. I'm Maria Leaf on Washington's Mall, WMAL.
Breaking news.
The threat of the coronavirus.
The inside story.
Can be very significant and very real.
Bars, restaurants, food courts, gyms.
If you are sick, no matter who you are, please stay home.
Depend on it.
Keep the entire household home.
Every day.
This is the perfect storm.
Americans need cash now. We're looking at sending checks to Americans.
What happens next?
Immediately.
Happens here.
Protect the health of our people. Protect our economy.
105.9 FM. WMAL.
I know spring is coming when the discount carpet coupons start arriving in the mail, but before you call just anyone, you should know there's a better way to clean carpet. Zero Res uses powered water instead of soaps and detergents. We can actually get your carpets cleaner than the competition, and our carpets stay cleaner longer because we're not leaving the soapy residue that attracts more dirt. Plus, if you're sensitive to chemicals or strong chemical deodorizers, Zero Res is perfect for you. Zero Res was founded on the principle, do not leave a residue. And those chemical smells are just chemicals floating in the air, tricking your brain into thinking that your house is clean. When Zero Res is done cleaning, I want your home smelling, well, like your home. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified for only $139 and get 30% off your tile cleaning. Learn more at 703-382-1221 or book your cleaning online at ZeroResDC.com.
Spell forwards or backwards, Zero Res is the right way to clean.
This is a commercial announcement. The coronavirus. The CDC says it's a real danger for senior citizens. You need all the facts on this killer bug. Now, Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, brings you those facts. Each night, watch the Chris Salcedo Show, Sean Spicer's Spicer & Company, and Greg Kelly Reports, and get the real truth. Find Newsmax TV on Xfinity, DirecTV, Dish, Spectrum, Optimum, Cox, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, Armstrong, and more. Newsmax TV is real news for real people.
So your friend Jan is driving you to the airport while you two listen to the latest breaking story out of Washington. But you get to the drop-off zone while it's still unfolding. Now, do you risk Jan getting yelled at by the airport cops?
Keep it moving.
Or do you turn on the TuneIn app as you stroll to your gate?
Now boarding flight.
TuneIn lets you listen to the news that matters to you, wherever you go. Hear local stories from WMAL, national networks like Fox News Talk, and all your favorite podcasts for free. Go to your app store to download TuneIn and start listening.
Now, the Larry O'Connor Show.
22 feet from the cup.
One foot in front of the other. We're going to win with trade. We're going to win with help. We're going to win at so many levels. We're going to win, win, win. You're going to get so tired of winning. You're going to say, Mr. President, please, we don't want to win anymore. It's too much. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry. We're going to keep winning because we're going to make America great again.
They are not going to knock us down. They are not going to make us depressed. They are not going to make us feel hopeless. As much as they want to, as hard as they're trying. We have perspective. We know this is temporary. We know this is short term. We know that we're going to come out on the other end of it stronger than we are right now. Yeah, the Dow continues to take hits. Yes, there's going to be economic impact from all of the moves that we're making to prevent the spread of this virus. But it's all temporary. Ask yourself this. Who are the American people going to want to lead us out of this economic downturn? The guy who just 3 years ago led us out of the last economic downturn? Or the guy who for 8 years was part of creating the last economic downturn? Right? Don't we want to stick with this guy and the team he put together had it not been for this extraordinary first time in over 100 years incident in our country that's affecting economies worldwide? Won't you want to stick with that team that was actually chugging along just fine until this happened? Of course you will. We're fine. We're going to get through this, and we're going to be better for it. And thankfully, the other side, they're offering not the greatest solution to this whole thing. I'll be honest with you. Coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, Dr. Roger Klein's going to join us for 1 full hour, 60 minutes worth. Nothing but your medical questions about this. Things that you still don't quite get about it. Dr. Klein will help us with that. Also, circle it right now. 5 o'clock hour, Representative Devin Nunes will be our guest. Plenty to talk to the congressman about. That's all coming up. But first,
at one point during this address, the president referred to the coronavirus as a, quote, foreign virus. That I think was interesting because as I was talking to sources earlier this evening, one of the points that the president wanted to make tonight, wanted to get across to Americans, is that this virus did not start here, but that they're dealing with it. Now, why the president would go as far as to describe it as a foreign virus, that is something we'll also be asking questions about. But it should be pointed out that Stephen Miller, who is an immigration hardliner who advises the president, is one of his top domestic policy advisors and speechwriters, was a driving force in writing this speech. And I think it's going to it's going to come across to a lot of Americans as smacking of xenophobia to use that kind of term in this speech, Chris.
Now, here's what you need to understand. What you just heard from Jim Acosta on CNN and Chris Cuomo agreeing with them, right. What you just heard is really, really, really important.
Okay, you're in the
to
rough,
a handful of very powerful people
stuff.
In the state-run propaganda arm of the Chinese authoritarian regime. They need people like Jim Acosta and Chris Cuomo and a whole host of other reporters and journalists in this country to accuse President Trump of racism and xenophobia because he's properly and logically pointing out that the COVID-19 coronavirus began and rapidly spread in the Wuhan province of mainland China. The only thing they've got, these propagandists in Beijing, is to say that if you point that out, you're racist.
Oh, you're
so
getting
naturally,
there. You're getting there. You're in the
liberals
rough,
in the media and Democrats, they're doing their best to fulfill the needs of the Chinese totalitarians. Andrew McCarthy, we had him on the program yesterday. We were really just talking about the Robert Mueller deal and dropping those charges against the Russian company. But he also had a great article in The Hill pointing out that not only is it proper, logical, and factual to point out that this is a Wuhan virus or a Chinese virus, but it also has an important legal component because the president, he's now engaging in some pretty broad policies that he's enacted because there are statutory requirements laid out by Congress that there is a specific international threat facing our country.
Here we go.
The president can use certain awesome powers at his disposal, but he's got to do it within the context of an international threat. In other words, the only legal way to do what the president is doing in his executive authority is to identify that we have a threat originating in China. If he does that, they're calling him a racist. If he doesn't engage the powers of his office to stop the threat, they'll accuse him of not doing anything.
Swing.
Either way, he loses. That's how they set these things up. But here's the fact. China's authoritarian communist government is facing an existential threat right now. They are desperate to change the subject. See, You heard my conversation with David Harsanyi just now. If at the end of this crisis, and it will come to an end, if all the major countries of the Western world collectively recognize the danger of relying so much on mainland China for manufacturing and fabrication of almost everything that drives our economies, well, then the entire Ponzi scheme constructed by the Maoists, the Marxists in Beijing, it all comes tumbling down. We are propping them up right now by doing business with them.
Looks
they
like
only
you're
opened up their
hit
country and accepted certain types of corrupt free market practices within the context of their Maoist control.
This is ugly.
They only allowed that to happen when they were desperate to feed their people.
Distance on this.
Somebody said, oh, geez, we better start opening up our country, otherwise we're going to have millions of Chinese starving. And so that's the only thing that brought them to even allow some level of free market and capitalist manufacturing to go on in their country. And that's it. And without it, they collapse. So what's going on here is China's doing what China does. It's using misinformation, propaganda, intimidation to try to change people's words and their thoughts. Now, don't blame them. They're communists. You need to blame the lackeys in the Western media for going along with it. Here's a tweet. There's a organization called the China Xinhua News Organization. It's propaganda. It's literally fake news to serve the regime in Beijing. Why Twitter lets them continue to function, but they silence conservatives, I do know.
Okay, 6 under.
They tweeted out the other day, racism is not the right tool to cover your incompetence.
Okay, it's time to send this ball on its way.
This is not a news entity. This is a propaganda arm of the Beijing government. And, of course, that gets great coverage, and people retweet and say, yeah, that's right. Ooh, what a burn on the president. And then you heard the president referring to blame the U.S. military. This guy, Li Jian Zhao, you heard me ask Gordon Chang about him when I interviewed Gordon last week. He tweeted out an article from China. The headline is, Further Evidence That the Virus Originated in the U.S. Yeah, we started
Solid swing.
And our soldiers brought it to Wuhan province. That's their argument. And every time the president is challenged for saying this is a Chinese virus, every time people say, well, you're claiming that it comes from... Well, one of the reporters today said, why do you claim this came from China?
Like
and the president said, I don't claim that it came from China. It came from China. Remember, these are the pro-science crowd. These are the people who say that we don't deal in the realm of science and fact. And they're saying, you claim it came from... No, you claim it. It came from China. And anytime you undermine that basic fact, you are doing the work of the communist authoritarian propagandists in Beijing. The only thing noteworthy about what China is doing right now, it's not that a communist country will resort to lies and propaganda to deflect blame and scrutiny for its own incompetence. That's not noteworthy. They always do that. Look at Chernobyl. What's remarkable and very important for everyone to understand is that the majority of our mainstream press are following suit right now. They're parroting those lies. Whether it's cable news or the New York Times or broadcast news or the outraged intelligentsia on Twitter, every time the president or you or me or anytime any of us refer to the virus as originating in the place that it originated, they immediately echo the exact approved message from the propagandists of the authoritarian regime in China. It's despicable. They all start screaming, your racism isn't going to divert blame for your failures. And all they're doing is providing cover.
Par on the last one. Let's see what happens here.
Now, it's not working. Americans know better. And let's face it, you and I, we've been called racist by these idiots for decades now. At this point, it literally has zero impact on us. Oh, calling it the Chinese virus is racist? Okay, whatever. Opposing Obamacare was racist, I was told. Whatever. You know, honestly, we're all racist. Thank you. It doesn't accomplish anything in that regard. What it does accomplish, though, is we get to add another little item to the ledger when we reconcile everything at the end of this very temporary situation. See, when the chips were down, did our liberal thought leaders, our betters, our superiors, the people who are so intellectually superior to us, did they oppose a totalitarian, deceitful, lying communist regime, or did they carry its water? And now we know. At the end of this, our nation and our Western allies, we're going to do some serious rethinking about our dependence on this unreliable communist Chinese regime. I'm pretty sure that we've seen the last of the days when all of our shoes and all of our shirts and all of our phones and all of our televisions and all of our computers and even our antibiotics are all produced in this one little dodgy corner of the world. We've learned a lesson here. What's also going to be wise is for us to divest from all those in the media who ran interference for that dodgy little corner in the world.
Well, at least you're on the green.
They ran
always
interference from the lying, murderous, Maoist, communist regime
here.
in Beijing,
I think this can go.
so that they could have one more tweet attacking President Trump. Duly noted. Time to get your reaction here on this latest. Also, by the way, coming up in the next hour, nothing but medical questions. Nothing but medical questions for Dr. Roger Klein. But let's talk about this aspect of it now. Keith in Clifton. Let's jump on in here, Keith. Good to talk to you. You're on WMAL. Hi, Keith. Keith, going once. All right, Keith. Keith wanted to say that he has a Chinese-American wife, and she doesn't care what Trump calls it. Yes, I have a Chinese-American ex-wife. I have Chinese-American children. They don't care. Yeah, honestly. If that's what we're focusing our energies
on,
I guess the worst of this crisis is over.
Hole,
seriously.
Let's see if we can start fresh here.
How about Missy in Harper's Ferry? Go ahead, Missy. You're next up.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to make a point, and I want everybody to take a breath, listen to what I'm going to say, and the fact that we can change none of this. The coronavirus right now is everywhere. No matter what you clean, it's in every HVAC system. It's places where we cannot disinfect. It's in the back of every UPS truck, every FedEx truck. It's on the bottom of everybody's shoes if you came in contact with it at any point. It's in your car. It's on your coat. It's everywhere. So I don't understand what the purpose of shutting everything down for 2 weeks for when it's still going to be in all those places and continue to be there because it's in everybody's air filtration systems everywhere.
Well,
you can't stop it. If it's in the air, you can't stop it. We can't contain it.
Well,
I understand that.
It isn't. Well, Missy, I'll tell you what. I'm going to save your question for Dr. Klein coming up because I don't think we know, number one, that it's everywhere. I don't think that it's necessarily airborne in the way that you think it's airborne, like pollen or something, because viruses have a life, and they can only live in certain conditions. That's
right, and they're saying that they don't know what that is. So here's my point.
Well,
Lindsey Graham was quarantined. All the people that were at that meeting were quarantined because they came in contact with somebody who had it. That means that everything that Lindsey Graham wore that day, for depending on how long that it lasts, if that guy laughed and spit when he talked and it was on his suit, every place that he wears that suit, even if he took it to the cleaners, everybody is still going to come in contact with it.
Again, Missy, I'm sorry. I know that that's your opinion, and I just need to make sure. And I appreciate the call from Harper's Ferry. I do.
I'm
going to hold that and ask the doctor about it coming up because I don't want people to think that what you're stating is absolute scientific fact because that is not my understanding of how this virus lives and survives. The 14-day window that we learned so much about has to do with if you are actually in contact with it and it is in your body. That doesn't mean you necessarily test positive for it. It just means that over the course of 14 days, you may actually incorporate that virus and actually be affected by it. But that doesn't mean it lives on a surface or in clothing or anywhere for 14 days.
Whoa,
the virus does not have that.
Smashed that.
Based on my understanding. And again, you presented what you understand to be the truth. I presented what I understand to be the truth. We'll have a doctor come in. We'll see if he has a third way or he can tell us something scientific about it as well. But I do appreciate the call. I do. How about Tammy in Alexandria? Hey, Tammy, you're next up on WMAL.
Hi, I just want to make a point that words have multiple meanings, and when I heard the word foreign, I thought of unknown or unfamiliar rather than, oh, who can we pin this on? I think it's just how people think about things, if that's your mentality and the only news you listen to is mainstream media, you're going to be thinking, oh, foreign, who's he after now? But it just means unfamiliar. That's, as you look at the definition, that's the second one listed.
It means,
and that's why
it means from elsewhere. As most specifically here, it means from elsewhere. Not originated here, but now we got to deal with it, kind of thing.
Well, or even it's unknown, it's unfamiliar, and that's why testing is so difficult, is because it's not something we have seen before. It's foreign.
Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. You're right on many counts there. I mean, we've seen similar things. The reason why it's COVID-19, because, there were 18 before it. But this is a different, I don't know if the right word is mutated strain, but it is a different unknown strain until now. But there are a lot of things that we know about it. There are, because it does behave like the other coronaviruses and other viruses that we've seen, because viruses, at the end of the day, are viruses. They have a whole lot of similar characteristics. Okay, more of your response to this in a moment, and also the specific fake story about the idea of the story should no longer be about why Trump calls it the Chinese virus.
And after that one,
the story should be why does the media do the heavy lifting for propagandists out of a murderous communist regime in Beijing? Because that's what they're doing. And we should not tolerate it anymore. Let's check in now with Ed Rodriguez in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
And this report sponsored by Compassion International. Big trouble right now in Chevy Chase. I can't believe it's the first time this week I've said that. Inner Loop, we're jammed from Connecticut Avenue to fire response to brush fire, blocking the three right lanes before Georgia Avenue. On southbound 395 in Arlington, right at the GW Parkway, the off-ramp's blocked by response to a medical emergency. And in Alexandria, you're going to slow from Duke Street to Edsel Road. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL ADC 7 Stormwatch forecast.
Sunshine will fade as we move through the afternoon hours with added clouds. Temperatures 57 to 62 degrees. Now, for the overnight, grab an umbrella if you're going to be outdoors. Temperatures will fall into the 50s with areas of rain. Come tomorrow, looking at highs 75 to 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Near 80 on Friday with a chance for showers, even a few rumbles of thunder. Cooler for the weekend with temperatures near 50 degrees. I'm ABC 7 meteorologist Steve Rudin, the Stormwatch 7 Weather Center.
Right now it's 57 degrees at 3:53.
Make mealtime easy and delicious with Bob Evans side dishes, like mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. They're made with real milk, butter, cheese, and potatoes, and are ready in the microwave in 6 minutes. Try Bob Evans sides from your grocery store. It'll be love at first bite.
Hi, it's Larry for EMP 180. You've heard me talk about how EMP 180's weight loss and wellness program vastly improved my health and my life. Well, since we're all now practicing social distancing, it's the ideal time to sign up for EMP Remote. According to the CDC and NIH, being overweight is a huge threat to our immune system. That's why EMP Remote can help you slim down and become healthier, as it's already done for hundreds of people. And it's so easy. EMP Remote clients enjoy total access to all the program support and resources right at home. When you sign up, they send you a scale, conduct your weekly coaching sessions via phone, and either deliver all your EMP nutritional foods or provide for easy pickup. Use this time to become healthier and change your life with EMP Remote's special offer. Call 855-888-0180. That's 855-888-0180 or visit EMP180.com. EMP 180 Weight Loss, empowering a healthier you.
One day, once in a lifetime pies. It's Super Saturday, Ashley Furniture Home Store's biggest sale of the year. This Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 at night. Save up to 75% store-wide at Ashley Home Store. Plus free delivery, and Ashley pays your sales tax. Find great buys like beautiful Ashley Contemporary sofas, just $349. Or 6-piece Ashley Queen bedroom groups, only $599 complete. Super Saturday, all day savings at Ashley Home Store. In Falls Church, Fairfax, Gaithersburg, Waldorf, Capitol Heights, and Columbia.
Need garage door repair? Visit GarageDoorRepair.com. Hi, it's Chris Plant. For more than 40 years, Overhead Door Company of Washington, D.C. has been the gold standard for service and repair. When you need garage door repair, GarageDoorRepair.com.
I've had blue front Amazon parrots and cockatiels and finches and cats and a little Lhasa Apso, a Maltese, she's like 22, a yellow lab Floyd, a black lab Murphy. Murphy's coat, it's very, very shiny, like it sparkles in the sun. And I'm also a part-time dog trainer, so I will always endorse Dinovite. DIANOVITE.com. Why wait until your dog is shedding like a monster? Save your dog from the agony, the misery of being stinky and having hot spots and shedding and making sure that they have the proper nutrition. The omega-3 fatty acids,
send this little ball on its way.
Alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Get them started early. I mean, your dogs will love you for it. My dogs do puppy zoomies around the house.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite at DINOVITE.com.
Man, did you ever launch that?
Can you believe how springy it is right now? I mean, it's beautiful out. We're going to have like 70, 80 degree weather by Friday. That means it's really, we're feeling it, right? Spring is in the air. That means spring cleaning is in the air.
Green
you know what else
really
people
elevated.
do this time of year? Spring cleaning. They also get new roofs. This is high season, as they say, for roofing and getting a new roof. It's a great way to refresh and protect your home from the inside out. It's where getting a new roof can change your home's appearance. I mean, it's like you get a brand new look. Speaking of new look, over at New Look Home Design, my friend Patrick Fingles is standing by. They got a great deal for you so you can get your new look with your new roof. You're going to save big time. Right now through March 31st, 60% off roofing materials and interest-free financing. You know, times are kind of scary right now
here,
with money, right?
I think you can do this.
Interest-free financing, that comes in handy. And it's interest-free financing through 2025. 5 years of interest-free financing. They're really trying to help you with this incredible offer, and you can take advantage of it by calling them right now, and they're going to stay open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week because they really want to get your new roof handled. New Look has installed over 30,000 roofs. Every roof comes with a lifetime warranty. NewLookHomeDesign.com.
Nice.
Or call them, 800-279-5300, 800-279-5300.
The stories that have been breaking while you've been at work. This is the Larry O'Connor Show.
Fantastic round. 9 under on the scorecard.
Donna in